Okay, and away we go. Well, you guys knew eventually I'd have to come back on here and say something about the playoff loss by the Jaguars. For me, the NFL playoffs really don't get cranked up or serious or really down to business till the final eight teams. The Jaguars, unfortunately, did not make it to the final eight. But we got to talk about the wild card round. This is a team that won the division right here. Coaches, Udinski possibly interviewing with the Cleveland Browns for a head coaching job. The guy, I think he just turned 30 years old, did a good job as the Jags OC. I think the play calling was not bad. It was pretty good most of the year. But things also come down to execution. Now, we're going to talk about the reasons why the Jaguars lost this game. And it was a close game. The Jaguars were in the game till the end. You lose by 3 points, that's a close game. I think the Jaguars' defense gave up too many points. I have an issue with that. However, I wish the Jaguars had scored more points, if you know what I mean. So, as we sit here on January the 14th, a couple of days since a loss, I guess it's been almost 3 days now, 72 hours since the Jaguars lost to the Bills. I've got it on the screen there. Buffalo Bills 27, Jacksonville Jaguars 24. Our executive producer, JC, did not make the coffee. The coffee boy did not make the coffee this morning. He's on vacation. He's frolicking. He's wrapped up in the glamour of it all because his Buffalo Bills are moving into the final eight. Congratulations. And I'm probably going to pull for the Buffalo Bills the rest of the playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, it does get real with 8 teams. This wild card round is preliminaries. When I was a kid, there was only 8 teams that made the playoffs. So that's why I think in terms of 8 teams, that's when it gets to be serious business with the playoffs. This is the Teal Shirt Report podcast. We might have done 2 episode shows number 8, but this is number 8. After the Jaguars lose and everybody's distraught, especially me. I've covered this team since the inception when I ran a radio station up in western Georgia, and JC, my executive producer, he remembers all that because I was up there, in his area then, and actually our radio station was an affiliate of the Jacksonville Jaguars radio broadcast way back in the beginning. Buffalo Bills 27, Jacksonville Jaguars 24. And sometimes it's good for me to sit back and let things ferment. I mean, I could have come on raising a lot of cane right after the loss, but I did not do that. And I'm kind of glad I didn't because I've had a chance to sit back and watch because, it's like in life, it's like a death. I mean, it's so final. It seems so final, even though as human beings, the majority of us, I believe in the afterlife and I certainly do, going to heaven, where my dad's gone to heaven, of course, and many other people, friends, family that I've known have gone to heaven. But when you lose a football game, it is kind of a finality too, kind of final. And it was a good season. Jacksonville Jaguars finish 13-5. The Bills improved to 13-5, and they're moving on to play again. But I kept getting this feeling in my head. There were 4 reasons why the Jaguars lost this game. And there's people going up on social media wanting to blame the coaches only, the quarterback only, maybe the pass rusher only. that's not the case. This was honestly a team loss by 3 points. I've got the reasons why they lost, and I can give you, yesterday I think I had 4 reasons. Now I have 5 reasons why the Jaguars lost this football game. By the way, you can go to our website for all the concerts. I know Barry Manilow was in town. I haven't gotten any of the reviews yet on the January the 12th 5-star Veterans Memorial Arena show of Barry Manilow on January the 12th. If you went to this show, put it in the comments. Or if you got an opinion on Barry Manilow, 82 years old. I didn't go to the show. I can assure you that. I'm not a big Barry Manilow fan, although I liked a couple of his songs. There's a lot of shows coming up in 2026. Foreigner, Journey. I think Judy Collins is tonight, in fact. But go to our website, bigjreport.com. Check our Neighbors 2 section for the shows. But back to the Jaguars, and again, we're brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital. The Mad Max Mix. Max will be on tonight on Wednesday night, January the 14th. Max, I'm going to be listening to your show. He's got a great show on Wednesday nights. Music pop classics, classic rock classics on the Mad Max Mix.weebly.com each Wednesday night, 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 till 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And Max is even doing kind of an encore at the end of his show with some extra long play songs. So it's really a good aspect of his show now and I think the show is really getting more cohesive, like a football team. JC the very next night on Thursday nights with Live from the Pub with JC on LakeUvalahits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. JC plays request on Thursday nights. Mad Max plays request on Wednesday nights. There's links to the show in our Neighbors 2 section at bigjreport.com, along with all the concerts up there. But without further ado, we want to talk certainly about these 5 reasons why the Jaguars lost the game. And before I do, I'll mention that I really think Indiana's going to blow Miami out in the college football playoff game. I don't know what the score is going to be, but Indiana, man, this is a team, they say, without any 5-stars. Some of these guys have got to be considered 5-stars now. But Cignetti, what he's done with Indiana is just a marvel. And it's Indiana won a Big Ten championship, and that would be important to me if I'm one of those players, coaches, in the fan base of Indiana. Man, we just won a Big Ten championship, and it's been decades since Indiana, the Hoosiers, have won one in football. Let's face it, Indiana Hoosiers are more of a basketball school, right? But man, they're undefeated, they're number 1 ranked, and they're 1 win away from the national championship in college football. And I'm going to be pulling for Indiana. I hope Cignetti gets a title. Miami of Florida Hurricanes have had a nice year, a very good year, especially in the playoffs. And we'll talk more about that game coming up as well. However, the 5 reasons why the Jacksonville Jaguars lost this game. I added a 5th reason because I'll be the first to admit I do turn my head away from the monitor. I got other things going on too. I might miss a play or two. I actually missed a missed field goal because I did have some things come up and I had to turn away from the game. And people know what I mean. You got a very important happening and you got to turn away from the game or whatever you're doing. So it added to my list the missed field goal by Cam Little. He was 1 for 2 in the game. This is a guy that holds the record for the longest field goal in NFL history. In fact, I think he's got the longest 2. One at 67 for the record breaker and one at 67. And he kicked a 70-yarder in the preseason. But that really doesn't count toward the regular season record. But Cam Little has the record for the longest NFL kick in a regular season game, 68 yards. Now, Cam Little, the kicker, in my opinion, had a slump for about 3 games early in the year. Then he kicked the 68, I believe it was 68 yards for the NFL record, and then he got out of the slump with that kick. Okay, so he's not the number one reason why the Jaguars lost this game. He's just a part of it. This was absolutely a team loss. And JC, I know you're basking in the glory of the victory. I'm proud of the Bills. If we had to get beat by somebody, the Bills, there's other teams that I'd hate to lose to more than the Bills. The Bills are in the final 8. This may not be the best team. In fact, I'll definitely echo this, and JC can put this up in the comments because he's a big Buffalo Bills fan. But this may not be the best team the Buffalo Bills have ever had. And I don't believe it is. You know, they were 13-3 back in 2022 when the Jaguars made the playoffs as a kind of a weak division winner, 9-8. This time around, though, the Jaguars were a strong 3rd seed, 13-4 in the regular season, and the AFC South division title. So, you know, JC, you can put in the comments, where does this Buffalo Bills team rank? You know, among the better Buffalo Bills teams. It's not the best of all the teams. And, you know, there were 4 Bills teams years ago that lost in the Super Bowl. The Bills are still trying to win their first Super Bowl championship. But again, this podcast is not about the Buffalo Bills or about the NFL. It's more about the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a part of the NFL. JC, I'm going to give you the 5 reasons. To our executive producer, also to John Gaylor, our contributor correspondent. And I'm going to you guys know I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you just like it is here on the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 8. We want to salute Mark Brunell, former Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback who wore number 8. I think this might be our second number 8 episode, though. We're going to be stuck on 8 for today. The 5 reasons. Because when I started thinking, I said, man, there's 4 reasons. And if the Jaguars, out of these 4 things that happened bad to them, if 2 of them don't happen, they win the game. It's that close. Buffalo wins 27-24. So I made some mental notes. I looked at the stats. I had to confirm because I got to be honest with you. I missed the missed field goal by Cam Little. I don't even know how long it was. But for Cam Little, any field goal that they attempt can't be too long. He's got the record at 68 yards, right? Okay, here's the 5 reasons why the Jaguars lost this football game. And again, in my opinion, if 2 out of 5 of these reasons aren't existing, the Jaguars win the game. And they're not in any order, but early in the game, Liam Cohen decided to go for it on 4th down. At that point, they could have kicked a field goal. I think the points were more precious for later on. He wanted to, you know, like a lot of coaches do, he wanted to go for the jugular, get the first down, and, you know, the hope was a touchdown. And let's give Liam Cohen credit, especially later in the year. Maybe not early in the year, but later in the year, the Jaguars started playing a lot better in the red zone. And that was probably some of his thinking. So the 4th down call, when the Jags decided to go for it on 4th down, didn't make it in the first half. That was probably reason number 1. Bear in mind, both of these teams scored 14 points in the 4th quarter. But the Bills ended up winning the game 27-24. So one of my reasons, the 4th down call, they probably should have kicked a field goal then. 4th down, going for it in the first half and not kicking the field goal or getting the first down. If he gets the first down, nobody's complaining. And this is not one of the reasons, and we might have won the game. If we kick the field goal, or if the 4th down results in a first down and they go on to score a touchdown, you might win the game. Another reason, Trevor Lawrence had a good game with touchdown passes. However, here's my contention. I don't think Trevor threw the ball well most of the day, or at least half the day. He was not throwing the ball well. However, he had 3 touchdown passes. And Parker Washington, he got 107 yards receiving in this game, and he's at least going into next year the Jaguars' 2nd or 3rd best receiver. He's a 2nd or 3rd guy now. He had a great year, breakout years. We kind of predicted that he would before the season started. Trevor Lawrence was 18 out of 30, 3 touchdown passes, but 2 interceptions. If Trevor has a perfect game, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, the Jaguars win the game. Now, it's a team loss, so now I'm going to go to the defensive line. And my friend New York Joe, who I messaged with, he said, the defensive line played pretty good for the Jags. Well, I would say most of the game. Not all the game, but most of the game. But let me ask you this. The Jacksonville Jaguars defensive line allowing Josh Allen to not only get the 2 yards he needed, but push the pile for 10 yards to basically win the game. Where was the defense on that play? Where was the defensive front on that play where the Bills offensive line and Josh Allen just basically pushed their way for 10 yards? A friend of mine, I call him the Colonel, he said he pulled up something in the rule book, said that's not even legal. Well, technically it may not be legal, but the NFL's been allowing it to happen in many games. What do they call it? The tush push or what have you. But the defensive line, where were they when Josh Allen was pushing? With him and his offensive line, and particularly Josh Allen, they were pushing for 10 yards. Where was the Jags defensive line? That's one of the reasons why the Jags lost too. Cam Little, 1 out of 2 on field goals, a missed field goal. That's another reason. Those are the 5 reasons. If you can't correct just one of them, but if you correct at least 2 of those 5 reasons, the Jaguars win the game. If Trevor has a clean game, no interceptions, a perfect game, the Jaguars win the game. 2 interceptions. Both of those interceptions, how big they were, is that the 2 interceptions, those were 2 reasons. The 4th down call by the coaches in the first half, that was a reason. The Jags defensive line letting Josh Allen push and just pull the Jags defensive line. I didn't see a lot of defensive linemen in front of the play. And then Cam Little missing a field goal, that was another key one. So in most cases, if the Jaguars eliminate 2 out of those 5 reasons, or Trevor has a clean game with no interceptions, the Jaguars win the football game. Buffalo Bills led after 1 quarter, 3-0. Both teams scored 7 points in the second quarter. Both teams added a field goal in quarter number 3. Both teams 14 points in the 4th quarter. It was a dead heat. Both teams scored 17 points in the second half. Buffalo got out in front 3-0. And the Jaguars, again, they went for it on a 4th down play. The Jags did score a touchdown in the second quarter. And let me say this, in defense of Trevor Lawrence not having a perfect game. He did not have a perfect game. But let me tell you what, the touchdown passes I saw, the short pass, the screen pass, or the short pass to ETN was a beautiful pass. The touchdown pass to Brian Thomas Jr. was a pinpoint pass and a thing of beauty in the end zone. Parker Washington caught a touchdown. I think I may have missed the one Parker caught. But this guy's had a breakout season, and you better keep him. He's your 2nd or 3rd best receiver. And the guy that's on injured reserve, Travis Hunter, he better come to play next year too. Especially if he's going to play wide receiver. Maybe they just make him a cornerback. Brian Thomas Jr., are they going to trade him? I hope not. He's a talented guy. He caught a touchdown pass in this game, and Trevor made a pinpoint throw. So all I'm trying to say, because there's fans that try to blame Trevor, and only Trevor. There's people that try to blame the pass rusher, and only the pass rushers. I think the defensive line probably played good most of the game, but man, on that tush push, the 10 yards, man, I don't know. In Josh Allen's defense, he did get a sack in this game, but the Jags just had 1 sack. Buffalo's Risau, he had a sack for Buffalo in the game. Parker Washington was the leading receiver for either team. He had 107 yards, 7 receptions, 1 TD, and 107 yards. Rushing yards, ETN had more rushing yards in James Cook. Travis Etienne, 10 carries, 67 yards. James Cook, 15 carries, 46 yards for Buffalo. And Josh Allen had the one big TD rushing. Now listen to this. Josh Allen was 28 out of 35 passing for 273 yards. Meanwhile, Trevor Lawrence, 18 of 30, 3 touchdowns, but 2 critical interceptions and 207 yards passing. So I think I've given you the reasons why the Jaguars lost this football game. I gave you at least 5 reasons. And if you correct 2 out of 5, almost any of these 2 out of 5, you win the game. That's how close it is in the NFL. Buffalo Bills 27, Jacksonville Jaguars 24. Final score in Jacksonville, Florida at Everbank Stadium. The season is now officially over. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 13-5. They finish. The Jaguars finished 13-5 with an AFC South Division title. The Bills play on. Boselli, the Executive Vice President of Football Operations. Liam Cohen, the GM. I did not agree with all his moves this season, but they got it done. 13-5 is pretty darn good for a first year of a new regime. Boselli, the GM, James Gladstone. I call them the Gladstones, all 3 of them together. Kind of like the Flintstones, you got the Gladstones. You got Boselli, Gladstone, and Liam Cohen. And Liam got hired before Gladstone did. They had a good year. There were some rough spots. Man, the Houston loss, that was a rough one. You know, the Jaguars lost to Houston, but Houston scored 26 points in the fourth quarter. Beat the Jaguars. Well, sir, ma'am, sir, I've got to clue you into this. Houston is still playing football. They beat the Steelers 30-6 on Monday night. The Steelers are still playing football. No, the Steelers are not playing football. The Texans are playing football. The Houston Texans 30, the Pittsburgh Steelers 6. Let me correct that. Mike Tomlin, his last game as a Steelers coach, he's announcing he's stepping down. And it doesn't look like he's going to coach anywhere else. 19 years with the Steelers and an incredible record that he has with no losing seasons in 19 years. There may not be a coach out there that can say that, because a lot of the great coaches in their last year, I know Lombardi had a winning season with the Washington Redskins. He coached them for 1 year before he sadly passed away. But that's pretty good. Tomlin will retire. He may get hired by one of the networks to come on, because I think he could be quite a character on TV. We'll see if that happens or not, or maybe he just goes into the sunset and retires. Chicago Bears came from behind. How did they win that game at Green Bay? Green Bay had a meltdown, a cheese meltdown. The Bears are still playing football. The Bills are still playing football. It's amazing. The Chargers got beat. John Harbaugh got fired by the Ravens. They did not, as you know, they did not make the playoffs. Jaguars win the AFC South title. But the wildcard Texans still alive. Houston Texans 30, Pittsburgh Steelers 6, a final on Monday night, January the 12th of 2026. 8 NFL teams left in the playoff hunt now, and this is when it gets serious. I mean, you got some serious things going on now. By the way, the weather conditions, colder. We're going to have colder air soon. In the meantime, cool. Mainly cloudy skies and cool. Rain chance about 20% North Florida. High 63, low late tonight around 44, but again, going to get colder soon. Calm winds becoming west at about 8 to 17 miles per hour in and around Duval, Jacksonville, and North Florida. We told you about the Texans, Houston Texans still playing. They're in the final 8. They're a wild card team. Jaguars won the division, but the Texans got the wild card. The Texans actually have like a 10-game winning streak now. And I believe that's probably the longest winning streak in the league this year, now that they won the playoff game 30-6 over the Steelers. Other playoff games, the Patriots are still playing. Patriots 16, the LA Chargers 3. San Francisco 49ers beat Big Bills Eagles. San Francisco 49ers 23, the Philadelphia Eagles 19. In the AFC, New England Patriots 16, LA Chargers 3, Did I miss anybody? Well, we know Buffalo beat our Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo Bills 27, Jacksonville Jaguars 24, the final score. So there's 8 teams left in the playoffs. There were some teams that got, a couple of teams got byes in the first round. Seattle and Denver both got byes. And then the 6 other teams include the Houston Texans, New England Patriots still playing football, Buffalo Bills playing. The Rams escaped. The Carolina Panthers, the Rams with a 3-point win over the Carolina Panthers. So I think I've covered almost all the playoff scores. If we haven't, we'll check them again on the next podcast. We're about 25 minutes in, JC. We're going to kind of wrap things up to make sure we stay under 30 minutes. We're brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital for your real estate needs in North Florida. You can find the link for Saucer Realty and Capital on our website on the homepage right near the North Florida weather information. We're also brought to you by the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. Mad Max will be on tonight and each Wednesday night here in the new year of 2026. JC live from the pub on Thursday nights. There's links for these shows in the Neighbors 2 section at BigJReport.com. So I gave you about 5 reasons. This was a team loss. Yes, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't throw the 2 interceptions, has the perfect game with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, the Jaguars win the game. If the defensive line can figure out how to stop Josh Allen and not let the Bills get in the end zone, the Jaguars win the game. Most likely. As I said, you got to have 2 of these reasons. 2 of these reasons that got to go the other way. Cam Little missed a field goal in the game. Defensive line allowing Josh Allen to push for 10 yards. I know he's a good player. Big Bill told me that he's the best player in the league. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills quarterback. The Jaguars' Josh Hines Allen had a sack in the game, but then on social media, there's people ripping Josh Allen. But now he was part of the defensive line, right? That gave up was he in the game at the time? I'm assuming he was. At that stage of the game, he should have been in there. So you guys leave any comments, because I've covered a lot of stuff in less than 30 minutes here. Trevor's 2 interceptions were key. The 4th down call by Liam Cohen to go for it in the first half and not kick the field goal and get 3 points. But keep in mind, Cam Little missed a field goal later in the game. So these are all the 5 reasons. The 4th down call to go for it in the first half. Trevor's 2 interceptions. Jaguars defensive line allowing Josh Allen to just kind of push and keep going and going and going for the 10 yards. And that was excruciating for the Jags fan base, the football team, the coaches. Man, it was excruciating watching Josh Allen ramble for 10 yards. Our executive producer, man, not so much for him. Buffalo Bills fan, longtime Buffalo Bills fan. And JC, give me some comments about the game. It was a great season for the Jaguars, 13-5, and now Buffalo is 13-5 with their playoff win over the Jaguars. We gave you the 5 reasons. Cam Little missed field goal, the defensive line that allowed Josh Allen to just ramble and push and push, and they couldn't stop him. He just kept going for 10 yards. It was unbelievable. Trevor, 2 interceptions. That was 2 more reasons the Jags lost. And the 4th down call by the coaches. All of these different people involved, and it was a big part of the team. With coaching, Trevor Lawrence, the defensive line, the field goal kicker, missing a field goal, but he's a record-breaking kicker. These are at least 5 reasons I came up with. If you could come up with anything else. Bill, I know your Eagles lost to the 49ers in a close one in the playoffs, and you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. There's 8 teams left now. We'll talk more about it. We'll cover more North Florida entertainment on the next podcast. Let me wrap it up now while I can. The Teal Shirt Report podcast has been brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com on Wednesday nights, and LakeUfallahits.com, where JC has live from the pub on Thursday nights. All of these links are in the Neighbors 2 section, and Saucer Realty and Capital, you can find a link for their website on our homepage near our North Florida weather information. Got to keep it under 30 minutes. I want to thank our producer, our executive producer, JC, who's taking a couple of days off now, basking in the glow of the Bills' victory. I want to thank, of course, Alex Nunnery, and our contributor, correspondent John Gaylor. Thank you so much, John. I think we're right at 30 minutes now as we leave. I'm your host, Scott, for the Teal Shirt Report podcast, and I am out exactly at 30 minutes. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching and listening.